Now, super exciting to the interior. First of all, flush door handles. When they press them or open it with the key fob, they come towards you. Then they are actually manual. Quick recap, because it's now finally decided. The Chinese government will forbid flush door handles from 2027, 1st of January already. And the thing is that before, it was the Chinese market that demanded these door handles because like look modern and also flush, aerodynamics, but it doesn't make too big of a difference for aerodynamics. But now then the problem was like, you know, in case of a crash, sometimes they wouldn't be open. They should always come towards you in case of a crash. But yeah, it's always a thing about even better safety. And so all manufacturers that want to sell in China have to rework all the door handles. It's not that I said before, just keep classic door handles, you know, but yeah, you know, sometimes you have to go this way then to end up with the same way once again at the end of the day. Yeah. Just a quick excursion about this one. Then here, door closing sound. That's really solid like that. The integration here of the rear handles is nice. This is also manual. Also really solid door closing sound. Then inside of the doors, this is here the favorite trim, the Alcantara trim. Yeah, it's really beautiful, and also a thick Alcantara. It's a high quality grade Alcantara as well. You can pick different quality grades there as well. Leatherette in here. This could be a little bit softer for the elbow though. Classic window lever integration, and this is the integration of the door handle. It is like a, you know, invisible integration, so to speak, and here visible more, like laser cut out for this focal 14 speaker sound system. Inside of the doors, this is not covered, but the lower part, the bottom, is covered with fabric at least, that you, when you put like a sunglasses case in there, that doesn't fly around. Then DS entry badge and also a high floor mat. This is nice. And here once again more from this Alcantara trim, which would be the favorite trim here always in this navy blue. Then we have the steering wheel, we know it from the DS8 in the Half-Life headcrab design with these force, you know, these headcrab monsters from Half-Life that jump into the face from Gordon Freeman and the professor like this. Yeah. Someone of you brought me to this comment, by the way. It wasn't my idea, you know, so that's why I'm saying it now. Then we have these, yeah, hashtag capacitive BS buttons on the steering wheel. They give some kind of feedback at least, but all cool in this navy blue tone. In the base trims and also in the Alcantara trim, this is also an animal-free steering wheel material, really soft and nice, and also plushed underneath. So when you push it, it's also soft underneath, really cool. And here the seats, this is the base Alcantara trim, means fabric inside, Alcantara outside. Optional, you would get everything in Alcantara also on the inside. We can also show you pictures from DS8 and some leatherette on the outside. Both very nice. The main difference is also that in the optional Alcantara trim, you also have the seat ventilation for the microfiber seats. And that's best in comfort and climate comfort, because it's already better in the passive ventilation than if you have also active ventilation is cool. What you also can activate, I can soon show it to you here in the infotainment. These seats here, when you have the comfort package, also include a neck warmer. Sorry, a neck warmer. Not warning, like to warm something up. A neck warmer with M. And here you can see it's like yeah, you can see it be above the DS logo, which is illuminated. There we go. This is where the hot air would come out. I cannot show that to you, or maybe hold the microphone against that you can hear that, because when it's kind of like hot in the studio here, oh, it's like 27 degrees Celsius in the studio here because of all the lights and the sun outside, although it's cold outside. It doesn't work when it's not colder than 21 degrees. So then it will not work. Yeah, it's a very definitely interesting feature. And the steering wheel up and down, in and out. You can also move that like this. And I will tell you more about the cockpit right now. So this is where I would close the door, then reach over and then, but I mean, it's actually fine, you know. This is like where this hidden design somewhat also works. Let's take it that way. So you sit higher than in the DS8. But you have a little bit more, let's say, non-SUV seating position if you compare it to the predecessor DS7. So I think it's somewhat in between. Yeah, this how you hold onto the steering wheel, you can get used to it. Let's take it that way. But it's also a little bit different than a normal steering wheel. That's for sure. Digital instruments, zoom on needs that. Like some fabric covering on fabric-alike covering on the dashboard. Then more in this Alcantara trim. subtle integration of the ambient lighting, also then this brushed chrome style for the decor elements. So they used a lot of nice materials, pretty cool in the interior styling. The whole cockpit really looks pretty stunning, I have to say. And then the glove box here is smoothly dampened. Interior materials, let's see if these ones will be final. About controlling everything, well, you have some hotkeys here in the lower part. This, for example, getting to the vehicle functions, and this one then will deactivate some of the functions here, like speed warning, blah, 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 and so on. There's actually a good hotkey. Microfiber also here for this inductive charging pad, which seems to be also ventilated. And then we have the integrated shifting lever right here. Some buttons, for example, for the drive mode selection, Sport, Normal, Eco, for example. Then with nice clicking here, this is a cup holder, which is not adaptive though. Split middle armrest. This is really soft here for your elbow. I like that. And then you have space underneath. This even goes deep in there, and then very deep in there, you can also activate the climatization there. So there's like a wheel you can turn where there comes like some cool air. Yeah, there's also like snowflake symbol indeed. Yeah. So there we go, and also nice closing sound as for that. I do miss manual climate buttons. You do have to do that all in the screen here with plus and minus. But everything else you can more or less easily find. Then the driver POV, once again here with this like volume control here on the steering wheel. Left side for the cruise control. Then we have the digital instruments, which look kind of fancy, I would say. You can also have like a map view in there. That's also quite cool. And then here, the infotainment system, really horizontal, widescreen format. You can also activate the neck warmer, for example, when the temperature conditions are met. You can also activate the heated steering wheel, heated seats, and so on. So this is also possible. Neck heater in 3 levels even. You also have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is the car internal map, which is maybe not the best one to use. And then here, this would be like a plus and minus for the climate control. And this is the vehicle function hotkey, but pressing and holding it will deactivate certain functions. You can here set this one up, and there will also be like the speed chime thing will be there in the final software version, that you can deactivate all of the stuff by pressing and holding that quickly. And here you can see right side, for example, Waze map, and then also the Waze map is integrated here in the instruments. Works with Apple Maps and Waze in Apple CarPlay, or with Google Maps with Android Auto. And this is, by the way, here we can change the digital instruments to normal view, or then also to this map view. And me as a viewer, I was waiting for this segment with Leah as always. And then here we have something else to show you, because this is like a lower area you can slide open with additional cup holders and USB-C charging. These cup holders are adaptive. However, when you now think about that the driver would pull out something there, next to that bridge. So this would be rather maybe like replacement beverages, where the passenger helps and then puts it in this top compartment here. Maybe not the most practical solution. We know that already from DS8. Oh, we have a lot of handles on top, I see. When I'm driving too fast again, then Leah can hold on tight. You're driving too fast. Yeah, exactly. Then rear seats. My favorite thing is that even the rear doors are fully covered here with Alcantara. This why is also my favorite trim. And then leatherette insert here. And even the door pocket in the lower part has a fabric insert. Not here, but in the bottom actually. So that's pretty cool. Then the rear seats, Isofix on the outsides each. And this is the base Alcantara once again with the fabric inside and Alcantara outside. And here would be the same logic. If you go for the optional Alcantara package with the seat cooling in the front, then you would have a full Alcantara also here on the rear with some leatherette accentuations. Then let's pull out this cup holders. They're also somewhat adaptive, let's take it that way. And this is then also the separate ski hatch that would be possible. Now the big question is, of course, about the comfort and the space we have here. So first of all, as for the headroom, this is the panoramic roof, goes all the way. It has a thermal protection, even says there in letterings. Yes, so there won't be all the sun going through, like from the heat. But you could also go for a fixed roof if you say you're living in a very hot, area, and the fixed roof will always be colder, no matter what thermal insulation there is there. So you can pick that at least. Here then, this version with 1A9 602. So it's interesting because they made these cutouts here. I still have enough headroom, so that's fine. Then legroom, when I'm driving as a tall person, also still works here for 4 or 5 tall adults. And you can see my feet. It is an SUV, so it's not as bad as in the DS8. So my feet are still already quite high. But since it's an SUV that stands higher, like in the DS8 sedan, it would be rather like this. There's always a problem of electric platform sedans that they somewhere have to put the battery. But here in the SUV, it's already better. And if you would have the petrol 48-volt mild hybrid version, then these foot garages would be 3 centimeters lower. Also interesting to know. But the coolest thing, once again, you're covered in Alcantara here, and the seat comfort itself is decent. Yeah, the only thing like EV typically that my feet a little bit higher, but definitely better than in the DS8 then. So comfort-wise in the rear, this would be even somewhat better. If you compare the previous generation DS7, this one here now has longer wheelbase. So from the 7 centimeters, it got longer, 3 inches. 5 centimeters of that went into the longer wheelbase, that you also have some more space in the rear. Now the trunk or the boot here is hidden underneath the button, 560 liters. Let's take a look at the measurements. It's 1.40 meters in width. This one fits in underneath vertically, no problem, but you have also more space underneath. And you can also, it's for a charging cable for example, because as you saw there's no trunk, and you can also set it to a lower stage here. The normal length of the trunk, it's also almost 1.40 meters. Then we can also remove this topper. Oh, Leah already removed the first one to make it easier for me. There we go. And then the height here is about 30 inches or 77 centimeters. That's it. And you can see here I can also individually fold the middle one, or also a 2/3, 1/3 split. That's also possible. And the total length, this is here then about 68 inches or 1.73 meters. So I think a good, well, usable space. About